Whoa! Is that Lex? Everybody's favorite? Ladies and gentlemen, the planet Jupiter is retrograde. If you didn't know, now you know. Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system, is retrograde in the sign of Gemini, the third zodiac sign, the twins, the sign of information. Listen, y'all, in astrosthetics, we call the Geminis the information junkies of the zodiac, okay? Yeah, Geminis is information junkies, but look, one thing they got in common with Sagittarius is that they're both information junkies. But Jupiter rules Sagittarius. The planet Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini. It's very important that we keep this in mind. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this amazing video, make sure you know that you're amazing and you're great. And make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all pick up a copy of Astrosthetics, the 500-page book, because everything that we're saying in this video is in that book. All right, so if you want to learn more about astrology, you want to learn more about astronomy, relationships, compatibility, mathematics with astrology, that's fun, intuitive, and simple, then make sure y'all pick up a copy of Astrosthetics right now, because when we get into Jupiter and Gemini, you're going to be like, wow. Make sure y'all get it. Let's go. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. This transit promotes a massive review of your grand ambition, your big ideologies, major ideas, your thought patterns, reviewing how you view reality and organizing data and how you analyze information from the past. Astrosthetics shows us that retrogrades are not real. This is why we call them illusionary setback. From our perspective on the Earth, the planet Jupiter appears to go backward. And while this is happening, this deals with revisiting information and documentation, and this can be a great time to tap in with your inner investigator and reviewing the mindset, investigating the intricacies of your thought process and intellect. Astrosthetics shows us that Gemini rules intelligence, how the mind, actions, and thoughts connect with each other over a long duration of time rises to the surface during its retrograde. And reviewing the connection between those three is important while Jupiter is in retrograde. Jupiter will be retrograde for about 110, 115 days, and it entered its shadow phase around July of 2024. So whatever you've been idealizing or thinking of around that time, around this summer, can get revisited during this retrograde. And you can expand on them and reevaluate them. And this transit can also boost the vision and the social perspective. Previous documentation, paperwork, and data can be reviewed, as we said. Checking that the mindset is optimized for maximizing communication effectively is the biggest key here, because this can promote a tremendous amount of focus revisiting the past. So reevaluating major moves that you plan on making and having the information for it, that's the vibe. Jupiter in Gemini sees that Jupiter is in an air sign, Gemini. Astrosthetics shows us that Gemini can also govern wind. There's also been a lot of weird things going on with the wind, air, and local communities. So this can highlight that Jupiter in Gemini is a weird weather storm, and it also highlights the public conversation and narratives and the hurricanes, the mindset of foreigners, foreign ideologies, and how they impact local communities is also a theme during Jupiter and Gemini as well. So focusing on long-term moves might not be a flex, but reevaluating short-term moves that build up, that's the catalyst to bigger moves, can be a theme as well. Jupiter is already in the detriment in the sign of Gemini. So as we said, when it goes retrograde, this could kind of magnify it a bit. We know Jupiter rules diversity, expansion, and stretching things, while Gemini rules localities and everything that Jupiter opposes. Doing a lot with a little can be a theme here for the Geminis. The true secret power of this transit is being resourceful and analyzing social trends effectively. Purposeful data is key here. Pointless conversation omits itself from the conversation and it emphasizes spotting trends and what matters to you. This transit can highlight where people might want to pigeonhole their perspective and not get the best data. You got to get the best information. Avoid adding too much fluff into the discussion. Don't absorb pointless information. Get straight to the information that's going to benefit your life. Jupiter in Gemini also shows differences in opinion. Where it's sat in Gemini, this can be an area that can highlight proxy wars and social division and social ideologies amongst people that live close to each other. And that's kind of been a vibe since Jupiter been in Gemini. I don't know if y'all seen it, but look around the world. But rationality, patience, calmness, and detail is a foundation and a big key while Jupiter is in Gemini. Properly dissecting the foundation allows you to formulate a solid opinion when you have the fruitful information and data. So that can work wonders for this transit. And speaking of transit, Gemini is transit. Public transportation, transportation by cars, highways, automobiles. Jupiter retrograde highlights all of these things. And I wouldn't recommend purchasing a car while Jupiter is retrograde. All right, now you could rent a car, all right, but I don't know about purchasing one. Keep in mind that your individual natal chart can affect a lot of these energies. So let's say you have Mars in Gemini or you got Saturn in Gemini. You'll experience Jupiter in Gemini completely differently. So make sure that you're familiar with your natal chart before anything else, because your natal chart is unique to you. So remember earlier this year when we said that it would be a media firestorm, right? Look at media. Look at the news, the evidence and what's been documented. This year been a straight media firestorm and challenges people to properly analyze the narrative. There's so much fluff and goofy information out here, goofy data out here, that it's imperative that you go to where the real source is. You got to go to where the source is. And when you're getting informed, purposeful information, because we got to echo that a few times, because Jupiter, as we mentioned, it likes to stretch things out. Jupiter likes to make things a big deal. Jupiter is essentially the big deal. Jupiter is the biggest planet. Sagittarius, this is your grand ambition, your grand stage. Sagittarius is the final fire sign. Come on, all my Sagittarius placements know what I'm talking about. Now, Leo's got they fire. Leo is the sun, right? But I mean, Sagittarius is they right there too, because this is the Jupiter principle. Out of all of the planets, Jupiter has the most moons. Because Jupiter has the most mass aside from the sun, Jupiter is the biggest planet, y'all. And out of respect to this just shows you that this is where a lot of energy can be focused. Jupiter is what you cannot get enough of. Jupiter just wants more and more expansion. Y'all feel me? And within this expansion, this is where you really get whatever you want. You can get spiritually enlightened. You can get woke and aware, because Jupiter also does govern spirituality. You can learn about religion. Jupiter is also religion. Between Sagittarius and Pisces, both of those signs have a religious connotation with them, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. When it comes to information and what you want, well, where do you want to take it? Sagittarius is also the higher limits. Jupiter, as we said, is all about expansion. Jupiter doesn't have no limits. So that's why when you put Jupiter in Gemini, and Gemini is so eccentric and diverse, but that's in the opposite sign of Jupiter's ruling. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So when you put Jupiter in Gemini, you gotta put a lot in a concentrated eccentric space, because Gemini is eccentric. But listen, when you get Geminis that focus, look, don't make us roll down this list of Geminis, what they can really do when they're focused, when they're locked in. Don't let it, y'all know what they are capable of, but that's only possible with proper timing and extreme focus. So when you put Jupiter in Gemini, y'all, this is really telling you, make sure that the data that you're getting will benefit your reality. Making sure that you're being real with yourself, because Jupiter can make us fantasize. And Jupiter is like, look, if you're going to fantasize, well, make it real. Make it practical. Make it something tangible. Make it a aspect of your foundation. But when you have Jupiter going retrograde, it's going to cause us to reevaluate a lot of these major moves that we may intend on making. A lot of these major moves that we were excited about. We've been adding a lot of thought to it, right? Because Gemini is an air sign. We've been adding a lot into the conversation, speaking about a lot of our grand ideals and thinking about them. Because Gemini is also thinking. Your thought patterns, right? Remember we mentioned that in the beginning of this video. Gemini is your thought patterns. All of your grand ambition, your grand ideals that Jupiter is bringing there, make sure that you have the tangible information to accomplish and continue being a winner. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all know we keep it extra positive, extra saucy for you, because that's the prerogative. And make sure y'all pick up a copy of Astrosthetics. As we mentioned, this book is 500 pages. Tells you infinite amount about astrology, astronomy, relationships, compatibility, financial astrology. There's mathematics in there. And it's explained and broken down into a very intuitive, fun fabric for you. Alright? Make sure y'all pick up Astrosthetics, the aesthetics of astrology. And if you're watching this video, I hope you have a great day, alright? Y'all know it's Flex, Astrosthetics. Let's get it, baby. Yeah. Whoa. Head on over to BarnesandNobles.com, Amazon.com, and pick up your copy of Astrosthetics, the aesthetics of astrology today. This book is 500 pages. If you're curious about astrology, this book is for you. If you want to know how to read a birth chart, master reading the natal chart, this book is for you. Relationships, compatibility, synastry, financial astrology, astrocartography. If you want to know where's the best place for me to move, relocational astrology is in there as well. Pick up your copy right now. Head on over to BarnesandNobles.com, Amazon.com, and order Astrosthetics today.